Ladies and gentlemen, here we begin with our one more session. This is a seasoned dialogue, and the topic would be land reforms and inclusive growth. For this, may I please call upon stage Dr. Gursharan Dhanjal, Vice Chairman SKOCH, and the seasoned dialogue would be with Mr. Ajay Tirkey, Secretary, Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. I request Dr. Gursharan Dhanjal, Vice Chairman SKOCH, to be on the stage. Thank you so much. And we have Mr. Ajay Tirkey, Secretary, Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. He is, ladies and gentlemen, spearheading the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program under the aegis of Digital India. He has also conceptualized the integrated land information management services to cater the agriculture, food, financial institution, fertilizer, and other sectors. Sir, we welcome you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Very important subject and something which is what interests everyone. At the same time, very complex, and also on top of that, very disputive in nature, because India is known to be having that kind of land infrastructure wherein everything gets clashed with everything else, but it remains the most important unit. So in order to fix this problem, it was important that we initiate the computerization of land records. And that was something which was initiated in the year 1988-89 as a centrally sponsored scheme for computerization of land records. 8 pilot districts in 8 states were picked up. And these were not the easy areas, because that's exactly where we wanted to understand as to how do we see as the future unfolds. I happened to visit a couple of such districts, including Mayurbhanj and Rangareddy district. A visit to the SRO's office, it was still full of paper, but there was the presence of a computer, which there was an assistant. Once the ROR was done, the transaction is done, he was inputting the data in computer, and I could see very systematically it was up to date. And at the end of the day, it was batch transferred to the MRO office and then further down to the revenue department. And that was only in order to bring in certain level of transparency, but taking away the manual system, converting into computer system. GIS was a new technology at that time that was deployed. It worked very well. Those were the days when we took baby steps. Come 2014, Digital India, and the entire landscape of the country changes thereafter. 2016, we launched the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, DILRMP. And there were 3 important components which came to be associated with that. One was the National Registry. Second was the ULPIN, which is the Unique Land Parcel Identification Number. And third was the Land Information Management System, LIMS. Put together, it has already had a wide-scale, far-reaching impact on India, may not be visible to the naked eye. So, I would like to start with as to where exactly are we and what are we doing about it.
Good morning everyone. So, let me start stating that land management is the core of governance. And whichever way you look at it, the moment you do something for land management, you are impacting governance across sectors. Just to give you an example and a flavor of how these structural changes are connected to each other. We all heard about the minimum support price scheme. But exactly a farmer which has something like a 5 acres land exactly we don't know whether the produce which has come from the farmer, A, is actually from the 5 acres of land which he has done the tilling, one. B, whether the farmer who has claimed to do 5 acres of land, the produce which has come to the mandis exactly relates to the 5 acres of land, or whether he has actually done the cultivation only at 3 acres of land. C, whether the funds which get remitted from the mandi to the farmer is actually correctly reflects the quantum of value of the produce. 3 issues. How this can be accurate, how all these structural issues can be actually reflected on the system and the banks, the farmer, the mandi, all of these stakeholders get to know that the systems are in sync with each other can only come through computerization and digitization of land records, where all the stakeholders are able to see all these issues on a particular platform. I'm just quoting an example. So that is the power of computerization and digitization of land records. It helps the citizen or the farmer to exactly get the exact value of his produce. I'm just quoting the example again. Very promptly, very transparently, and where all the stakeholders equally share the information. So I'm just quoting example. Now, this computerization and digitization of land records, what we have been doing, has impacted not only food sector, it has impacted agriculture sector. Now we're talking of AgriStack. It will impact AgriStack. It has impacted infrastructure sector. If we talk of Gati Shakti, which all of us know about it, Gati Shakti will get the Gati only with good computerization and digitization of land records. And when we are moving from computerization and digitization of land records, now we are also talking about georeferencing of land records. The georeferencing of land records will come through the second stage of digitization with the georeferencing features which we are going to introduce, which we have introduced rather, in many states through georeferencing of land parcels. So, irrespective of any sector, even the financial sector, the financial banks, mortgage, very important. The driver of the economy is sales, mortgage, etc., will only happen when computerization and digitization is 100% across the country. As of now, just to share, we have done something like 95% of computerization and digitization of land records. Pan-India. The registration also, what has been talked about, the SROs is again 94 to 95%. The 5% which is left over is basically the northeastern states. It has its own issues because large parts of the northeastern states have not been surveyed. But there is the good news is that in this year, we have been able to make a breakthrough in the northeastern states as well, where we had called all the autonomous councils in the northeastern states, and we have introduced them to the computerization and digitization benefits and the what they can avail of if they modernize their land governance. So hopefully that 5% will also get taken care of. Having said that, what I'm stating is that from computerization and digitization of land records, we have moved into georeferencing through Bhu Aadhaar or unique land parcel identification number.
We'll come
Yes.
to that. So in fact, when we say that there has been huge amount of achievement, it's always exemplified by numbers as to what we already have done.
Yes.
So you mentioned that 95%, of the revenue villages have already been covered. Nearly the same number or higher, the SROs have already been interconnected, and they are also connected with the revenue offices.
Yes.
Add to that, more than 80% of digitization of mapping, relating to mapping has also been achieved. So when we are looking at such large numbers in such a short period, we understand that you're trying to fix a problem. But the change management, the governance or government process re-engineering becomes a challenge. How did you look into the capacity building, managing the mindset change, and the process re-engineering?
Yeah. So, all these are very challenging issues. One, land and its management is actually a state subject. Everyone is aware of it. Each state has its own way of looking at it. Their systems are a little bit different across states. So what we have done is that we are using technology to the best extent possible. So the answer to all the challenges, when you have a varied sort of systems across India, large country, many states, and each state at a different level, technology is the answer. That is the point I'm trying to make. The challenge is the variety and the various systemic, arrangements across states. But when you introduce technology, and for our purpose, when we introduce technology, whether it is computerization of the record of rights or the digitization of maps, cadastral maps we call it, we introduce it pan-India. We allowed all states to use it. And when they started using it, ultimately you get something like a unified structure somewhere down the line. A very tested example is the e-registration, which you have already talked about. So it's a national platform. It's a application software, and when we introduced it to the states, there was always the hesitancy. But when they understood the benefits of the NGDRS, we call it the NGDRS, states after states came in and adopted the NGDRS, the e-registration platform. And in the very short span of maybe 2 years, the e-registration system, all of us are into it because all of us do the registration of this properties, etc., etc. That is what we do. In a short span of 2 years, the number of documents which got registered is 2.5 crores. And the revenue which generated, this application software is 4.5, the value of that application software is 4.5 crores. And we got a revenue generated of 1,32,000 crores in just 2 years.
So when we are talking
So
about,
this is, yes.
when we are talking about revenue, one interesting aspect of land is that disputes. We have approximately 2.5 million hectares of land which is locked in disputes. The estimated cost of that is somewhere around $200 billion. That needs to be unlocked.
Yes.
How do we do that? Because, you know, when we go to the courts, it remains there. And you are introducing the entire land reform system, bringing e-courts and the revenue courts together.
Yes. Actually, this is very interesting because I'll draw your attention to something which is the core of capital formation. All of us will understand this. There's a book called The Mystery of Capital. It's written by a Peruvian economist called Hernando Soto. He mentions that land, if it is not locatable, let us use that as within quotes, land which cannot be identified, which cannot be put into the into a particular system and public infrastructure system whereby the land can be transacted, then that land is a dead capital. That is what the economist had to say. And precisely what we did in the Department of Land Resources is that we realized that this is very critical. The land is a dead asset if it is not put into the public systems, and the transactability features are not there, then that land is a dead capital. So therefore, we introduced the Bhu Aadhaar, or the unique land parcel identification number. And states after states, they are so enthused by that, that states after states have started moving into the Bhu Aadhaar, and in a short span of 1 year, we have done something like 9.75 crores of land parcels have been assigned Bhu Aadhaar. What is Bhu Aadhaar? Bhu Aadhaar is just a 14-digit unique ID, which is assigned to the land parcel. You and I, everyone has a land parcel. The entire country will get a Bhu Aadhaar in a year's time. That is my understanding. With that 14-digit unique ID, you are able to locate, identify your land, and the system, the public infrastructure system, is able to locate yours. If the government, through a scheme, wants to push a schematic benefit to that particular individual who holds the land, it is prompt, it is sharp, it is accurate, the government will able to push the scheme benefits exactly to the person who actually is eligible. So that is the power of Bhu Aadhaar.
So stepping back a little, the land also suffers with some kind of hazy calculation in terms of the unit, in terms of the measurement and so on and so forth. Somewhere it is called khasra, somewhere it's called khatani. I mean, different names, different languages, and different measurement and different metric systems. Moreover, the data has also been very hazy. So this is the inheritance we have had from the days of the Mughal or otherwise from the days of the British. So this is a 1,000, 2,000-year-old problem we are trying to sort and trying to make it legible, interoperable, usable, as well as, which can be adopted by people. So it's been a Herculean effort going that way. On top of that, transliteration is required. So you have gone miles ahead on that. Would you like to highlight that?
Yes. So, as you said, now, if I hold a land in, say, Maharashtra, and if I have to, being a Marathi, I need to invest in Tamil Nadu. The land records in Tamil Nadu are in Tamil. The land records in Kerala, for that matter, are in Malayalam. So what we did is that we have worked on a pilot project on the transliteration of land records. These linguistic barriers across states need to go. That is the effort which we are making. The moment the linguistic barriers are done away with, there will be a pan-India, a system where an investor, you may be from Maharashtra, but you are able to visualize and see the land records if you are investing in, say, Tamil Nadu or Kerala or whatsoever. So we are working on that, and the pilots in the 9 states are successful. We are about to launch it. I'm just waiting for the arrangements to be put in place, and we'll be launching it. The moment that is done, the pan-India systems will be in place.
Well, that's quite an interesting perspective. I wish we had more time, but yes,
Yes.
you did talk about Alpin. It is also going to be adding to the ease of living as well as ease of doing business.
Business, yeah.
So on the go, just a few sentences if you could add to that.
Yes. Unique land parcel identification number, as I have already talked about it, Bhu Aadhaar, what we call it. It has both the features. It helps you, the individual, the citizen, for ease of living, because you are carrying a Bhu Aadhaar along with yourself. But at the same time, with the Bhu Aadhaar, because it has the transactional interoperability features, transactional features, therefore the same Bhu Aadhaar, the georeference Bhu Aadhaar, will help when you're transacting, for that matter, your land. Because the land is georeferenced, there is a Bhu Aadhaar to it, the data can be picked up by the system for interoperability for transactional purposes. So that is the beauty of it. It helps by way of ease of living and for ease of doing business.
So there has been a great achievement already, and in last 6 to 7 years, we have come a long way.
Yes.
So 95% we've already achieved. Another 5%, I guess, another year or two, we would be 100% operational, and
Yes.
India will soon start receiving the benefits of this implementation, which is really going to go a long way in India making a developed country, because that value in land is going to get unlocked by 2047. It's going to have a long-term impact, and going to be adding to the ease of living, to the ease of doing business. Congratulations for having to go such a mile, made these things possible, leveraging technology, and let's look forward to having a bright future on that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.